Hi, welcome back. So we'll have a bonus session for our webinar. So a few questions that we couldn't get to live during the webinar. We still have our guests, Craig and Kevin from Hendrickson Fire Rescue Equipment. So thanks, guys, for sticking around.
Our pleasure.
All right. So one thing we didn't get to was, specifically within fire, certifications to work on the equipment. If you think about somebody who has a piece of equipment, they might think about upfitting to be sold or used in fire. Can you talk a little bit about the regulatory environment there?
Sure, yeah. So all companies that build fire trucks or work on fire trucks, they adhere to what's called the NFPA requirements. So there's NFPA 1901, which are the standards to how a truck has to be built. And then on the service side, there's NFPA 1911, which gives you all the requirements about servicing and maintaining the fire trucks. So specifically, all our technicians that work on a fire truck have to be what's called EVT certified. So think about ASE, but for fire trucks, right? So there's the EVT Commission, and they give tests about twice a year, and there's 9 different tests for fire trucks. There's 5 or 6 different tests for ambulances, and it could be anything from maintenance to the fire pumps to the aerials. So all our techs have to be certified by the EVT Commission.
Makes sense. So on the equipment side, I certainly can't just take a piece of equipment, throw a couple things together, inspect it, and say this is now fit to be sold to a fire department.
Exactly. No, it has to meet the NFPA requirements, which there's a book about that big with all the different requirements. So it's important that if you're going to engage in the fire business, that you really understand the NFPA requirements, and that your techs do as well.
Great. All right, another one then, bouncing back to the mobile service. When you think about your service advisors, are these guys on the road? Are they out in the field? Or do you support the mobile techs with service advisors based in a single location?
Want to grab that one, Kevin?
Yeah, so one of the things that we enjoy is we're a completely digital shop, completely paperless shop. In fact, from any smart device, we can literally run our business. We can look at status real time. We are as informed as you can be informed with all the data that's available because it's all digital. Now, in our particular instance, our service advisors are resident at our shop, but on any given day, they can work from home. Any one of us, frankly. We can sit here and dispatch a road service person right now if we wanted to. But by and large, for us, it's more convenient to have our service advisors resident in our business on a daily basis.
So we have 3 service advisors, and they manage the shop and the road. So it's kind of a mix. We don't have a dedicated advisor for the road.
Correct.
We have them spread between the shop and the road. So,
but from a logistics standpoint, it could technically be done from anywhere, anytime.
Makes sense. One final question related to hiring. Anything else, creative that you're doing to bring technicians into the shop?
Sure. So we all know that it's really hard to find that A tech, and especially hard to find that A tech that knows fire trucks. But something that we've done pretty successfully is we've looked at municipal technicians that are working for fire departments, that are working for towns, and we've hired them on a part-time basis, right? So we have numerous technicians that they leave their first municipal job at, let's say, 2 o'clock. They come on to us and they work from 2 to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night in many situations. So, we have about 4 part-time techs, and that's really helped us in a big way.
Yeah, that's interesting because, we've had guests that have talked about offering flexible shifts or flexible, 4-day a week instead of 5-day a week, but just part-time. I mean, the flexibility that can give somebody to add on to their full-time job and earn extra money, and you still get some great work out of them.
Yeah, and these are techs that are really good at what they do. They have a lot of knowledge. They really are top of their field, and if we can get them for 20 hours, it's better than nothing. So.
Yeah, and describe the truck that we make available to them.
Yep, we have a service truck, for them fully fitted for going out into the field. So a lot of these techs are doing a lot of field work for us.
So they literally drive our service truck to their first job, and then when it's time to transition over onto our scope of work, they're already there in the truck. It's already stocked. They're ready to go. They're already dispatched digitally.
Wow, yes. I mean, they can literally start with you the minute they walk out the door
Exactly.
from their other job. Man, that's really good. All right, I'll wrap up the whole thing with one final question. Clearly, you mentioned, Kevin, paperless operation. You're great users of Full Bay, which we certainly appreciate. what do you guys look at from a metrics perspective and data from Full Bay that really helps you run the business?
Yeah, so, there's a saying, you can't manage what you can't measure, but we take that to, you can't improve what you can't measure, right? So we started meeting with our service team, meaning our advisors, our service managers, parts manager, Kevin and myself on a weekly basis, and we look at a number of different metrics. It starts with utilization, right? Efficiency, cost of poor quality, right? That's a big one for us. We really look at, what are our cost of poor quality, and we look at that by what are we giving back to customers in terms of credits, in terms of, time that we have to redo, comebacks, things like that.
Goodwill, warranty parts.
Goodwill. So we track that pretty closely, our cost of poor quality. We also wanted to improve how long a truck stayed on our property, right? So we know that, especially for fire trucks, the fire departments need those trucks in service. So we wanted to improve our turnaround time, if you will. So we track through Full Bay unit possession. So we track every week how long trucks are on property, and we as a team work to try to improve that, and we have over time. And then another metric that we're working pretty closely to improve is our open SOs, our open service orders, right? And we count an open SO as any SO that will have parts or labor applied to it, since there's capital tied up. Mm-hmm. So we work to improve our SO count on a weekly basis. And it's kind of interesting, when you look at, since we started doing these weekly KPI meetings, if you will, just to see the trends in terms of we are getting better, quarter by quarter, week by week. And it's really helped us a lot.
That's terrific. Well, guys, thanks again for coming. We really appreciate it. Chris, we'll do it again next month. What do you think? No, maybe not next month. Maybe next quarter.
Either way.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining and watching the follow-up.